Okay, this is our new consultant training, and I have Sarah here on with us. But I want to record this because I know other people were wanting to watch it later. First thing that I'm going to ask Sarah, and then I want you to ask yourself, and I already kind of know Sarah's answer anyways, but what would you say if you could pick an income goal, to start out with? What would you like to make every month? What would help you?
$500 to $700 because that would pay for my kids' extracurricular activities.
Okay, so you added up all their extra stuff that you have in a month. Yeah.
And of course, it gives me a little cushion too, like if we need new ballet shoes or
stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And that is very doable. Even I think with the shows that you have on the calendar right now, I think that's about, now cooking show averages are a little bit, and because you've been a part of cooking and virtual, cooking show averages are a little bit higher. They're about $650 is the average cooking show. Virtual parties, you're going to run probably an average more of a $300 to $400 range. Now, not everyone, I know that if you watch that training that I posted earlier on our team page, if you watch that at some point, Tamara has $1,000 parties virtually all the time. So doing some of her tips can help you have higher virtual for sure. But you kind of know that if you have at least 4 to 5 cooking shows a month, then that's going to put you at probably that range there. About one maybe a week, and then you throw some virtual on top of it, you're going to be looking at even more. So you can kind of mess with that. You could do more virtual, like if you have, a couple cooking and then you have some virtual, then it's going to kind of even out some as well. But typically with virtual, you'll want to have more in case some, barely qualify or don't qualify or cancel or whatever. But honestly, watching some of that virtual training that I'm going to show you in just a little bit, it will help you have, higher parties and you're going to have more success with those virtual. So, okay. So how many, if you could tell me a number of what you feel comfortable with, how many would you say in a month? What would you be comfortable doing?
Like how many parties?
Yeah, how many parties would you be comfortable doing?
Probably with our schedule, I'd be comfortable with doing 1 cooking show a week and then maybe 1 or 2 virtual parties per week.
Yeah, and that would set you up for a really good month. So I think that would be, a great goal. Absolutely. So, and I know I told you a little bit about this, but as a new consultant, you're going to have did you figure out your 30-day and 90-day date?
Yes. Okay. My 90-day it's at the end of September. I think it's like September 29th or 27th or something like that.
Okay. But you did find out what they were. Yeah. So 30-day goal, that goal is where we are going to try to hit the $1,250 in sales so that you get the 200 in PC bucks. Okay. And then every time after that, and you can hit it more than once in a month too. So every time after that you hit $1,250 in sales, and this is in your 90 days, you're going to get another 100 PC bucks. And basically those just kind of sit in your account when you go to place an order for yourself. Or let's say you want to send something to a host and use your discount, and use your PC bucks or whatever. Then it'll ask you and say, you have this much balance. Do you want to use it? So that's why I always encourage new consultants. I think of it kind of like an airplane taking off right now. Eventually you may want to do less. You may want to, and you may decide you want to do more, whatever. But right now you're kind of taking off. and you have this 90-day period where you're going to be doing a ton. And that's going to help you start your business off strong, you know, and then if later on down the road, you're like, well, I'm more comfortable with this or whatever, but why not get as much as you can basically in your first 90 days, since you do get all this free stuff. Now this month also in July is free for all. And you'll see me, so I'll post probably something about it after we get off the phone here, but there is different levels for the free for all. There's a $750 level, and you're going to get a couple products, usually smaller products at $750. Then there's a $1,500 level. You're going to get some more products. There's $3,000, and then there's $6,000. And so at each of these different levels, you're going to get even more products. And these are new fall products that we don't even know what they are yet. So free for all was last month, and it's this month. And so basically we're earning fall products that we don't even know what we find out at the beginning of August what the fall products are. Fall products start September 1st. So the catalogs and stuff that you get in your kit, they're going to last until September 1st. So just kind of know that when you get them, if you're needing some more, you may want to buy like the 25 amount versus the 100 amount, just because you may not go through 100, you know, in the next couple of months. So the spring catalog comes out March 1st. Fall catalog comes out September 1st. So those are the two different ones. So what we need to figure out too is we need to figure out when you want to do your first show. What do you have scheduled on your calendar now for the cooking?
The cooking show. Got it right here. I have to confirm, but it's looking like it's going to be Thursday the 19th. She's going back between the 17th and the 19th.
Okay.
I think she's leaning towards the 19th.
Okay. I have a show the 17th, but I don't have a show the 19th. So if she ends up doing the 19th, then I can help you with that one.
Okay.
So,
I also have a virtual party. She wants to start it on the 10th. I have no idea even if do you know when I'll have my stuff?
Yeah. Oh, you'll get it this week. It usually takes the most 4 business days. So,
okay.
Yeah, you'll have it this week.
I just want to make sure she would be able to get catalogs before.
Right. Is she someone local or?
Yeah, she lives in Collinsville.
Okay. I would say just as you can run over a couple catalogs to her with a packet or whatever. And I'm going to show you in a minute where to find what to put in a packet. So, so we'll look at, let me know once you have, because do you have already on the calendar another cooking show yet? Or did you say you're working on getting a date for more?
I have July 30th on the calendar is another virtual party.
Okay.
And then I'm working with another girl to set a date for another virtual party. And then I'm working with another girl to set a date for a cooking show. But she wanted some examples of different types of cooking shows that we could offer. And I was kind of scrolling through, and I only found like 2 of them by Googling it. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find them on the website. So look tonight, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah, the first thing I try to find out is alcohol or no alcohol, you know, because I do the wine, cheese, and chocolate tastings, and a lot of people jump on that one. And then fajita margarita parties and sangria and salad, you know, so those are 3. But if they don't want alcohol, then I would do, you know, just cheese and chocolate, or I call it a Mexican fiesta. And basically you can do the fajitas or the fiesta chicken dip, you know, and they can not leave out the margarita part. So finding out kind of the crowd, and some are, book parties like crazy because they know their friends would love a wine tasting, you know, and others are like my friends don't really drink. So I would rather, you know, just do a Mexican fiesta with fiesta chicken dip and a dessert, you know, something like that. So that's going to be the first thing, is kind of finding out. You can say, you know, I offer wine, cheese, and chocolate tastings, fajita margaritas, salad sangrias. I do healthy in a hurry, which is, but honestly, I'm just going to be honest.
That would probably be something more that she'd be leaning towards, because her and her friends are all young, new moms that have mainly toddlers, and they're looking for things like easy meal preps, freezer type of things, that kind of stuff.
Can I be honest with what we should do for them is Fiesta chicken dip. Have you had that before? Okay, Fiesta chicken dip is done in 14 minutes. And it is done in the Rock Crock. Something, when you have that kind of a group of people, they need something that can be done quick, super easy, 12 to 14 minutes. And showing them like the Fiesta chicken dip, you can tell them is a Mexican dish. And it has chicken in it. And we shred the chicken up, and then we put corn, black beans, rotel, some cream cheese, some taco seasoning, and then top it with a cheddar cheese. And you can do a scoop in a tortilla or like a chips with dip. And it's perfect for, kids typically like it. You should try this recipe sometime for your kiddos. I bet they would love it. But then it's just, and then you can talk about the Rock Crock, and you can tell them about these quick, easy meals that, busy moms really need. So that's when I know it, they're young and they have kids, that's typically what I'll lean more towards is showing them something quick and easy in the Rock Crock, because they are going to want that Rock Crock. So you may tell her, that there's a Fiesta chicken dip, and you could do like a Mexican and margaritas, or you can just do a Mexican Fiesta if they don't want to do the margaritas. But that's what I would really lean towards, and tell her, it's a really good recipe or whatever to do. And it's easy, and it'll be one that her friends could easily make in the evenings. So you may shoot that idea, but, and you'll see me talk about the different themes at your party, but I'll show you where to find some more stuff here in a second. So with, something else that I want to tell you, did you see that in your 4th month, you get 40% off a one-time order?
No, I didn't.
So I saw that they were sending an email about it, but I don't know if they always do or if that was something new. So you have, after your 90 days, your very next month. Okay. So if your 90 days is up in September, it may be October, but we would need to find that out for sure. Okay. But you have the next month, that 4th month, is you get a one-time shopping spree of 40% off, where you can go in and you can buy products at 40% off, and you can use your PC bucks. So that's kind of nice. And so I saved some of my PC bucks for that time, and then I went in on this one-time shopping spree and then got a bunch of things and then used my PC bucks towards it. So that's something that they offer your fourth month in the business. So if you have a piece of paper, I want to brainstorm with you for just a minute on a list of people to think through. And I know you've already reached out. I know you've already sent texts, but hopefully this will make you think if you have reached out to everyone that you possibly could. Okay. So I want you to write Frank's, the acronym, like the hot dog, FRANKS.
Okay.
Okay. So the F is going to stand for friends. Okay. Friends can be people that live in this area, or they can be people that, that you know from other places, because obviously Facebook, friends are everywhere. So, but I want you, in each of these categories that I tell you, I want you to think of at least 3 people. Okay. And if there's some of the categories where maybe they don't apply, or maybe you can't think of anyone, then you can double up in another category. Okay. So friends, I want you, and you don't have to do it all right now, but you can go back to this list later, but think of friends. R is relatives. Okay. So 3 relatives. Associates, I know you're not currently working, but maybe people that you used to work with.
Okay.
Okay. Because like when I very first started, I had just finished teaching. So some of the teachers were the very first people that did shows for me. Because that's pretty much who I knew. N is neighbors. I don't know how well you know your neighbors, but when I very first moved into this house, I started Pampered Chef not that long after I moved up here to Collinsville. And so I didn't know a lot of people, but also I didn't really know my neighbors very well. But I invited one of my neighbors, and she came, and she ended up booking a party for me. And at that party, 9 people were there, and 5 of them booked shows. So you never know when just inviting a neighbor, or someone that maybe you're not real close with, but you have to think too, everyone eats. This is a business that, is food, and everyone needs to do that. So it's going to apply to a lot more people than some other businesses. So N is neighbors. K is kids. Okay. So people at gymnastics, teachers, I've had several of Karsten's, the moms that are soccer, boys are on the soccer team. Then we did baseball this spring, and several of the baseball moms did parties for me, so just whatever kind of sports and things that they're doing, and the moms that you talk with, during that time, when they find out that you do Pampered Chef, or you're talking, or they watch you, making something near Rock Crock, they may go, hey, I saw you, making something. What is that thing? Or, hey, tell me more about that Rock Crock. Or they'll start to notice when you are posting stuff, on Facebook, or if you talk about it, I'm so thankful for that Rock Crock, because tonight I just threw this and this in there, and we could have dinner super quick tonight, so just stuff like that. S is spouse. So people that you know because of your spouse. Now it could be men, it could be wives, it could be, he could take the catalog with him to work one day. I know that when I first started, Todd would take the catalog with him to work, or he would take a dessert or some pork tenderloin, to work, and they would eat it, and he, would sell a Rock Crock and stuff. So when you make food and send it with them, and send a lava cake or something, or brownies in the brownie pan, or just something like that, then they're going to start noticing what you're doing. Or your husband may go, oh my gosh, my wife made pork tenderloin and this, I'll probably say this pot thing, and she made it last night in only 10 minutes, and it was so good, just something like that. And then they're going to go, oh really? So it's just stuff like that he can mention and talk. I don't know if he works with women or men or what, but my husband primarily works with men. So he would take a pork tenderloin in there, and I would prep it, and I would have it ready, and he would just put it in the microwave and cook it for 10 minutes, and then he would share, some with all of them, and they're like, holy cow, I can't believe this was cooked in the microwave. My wife needs one of those, so that was a good way to kind of just get the word out there when I was very first starting the business. So of these 6 categories, if you found 3 people under each of these, you would have 18 people, okay? But not all 18 people are going to say, yes, I'll have a party, okay? Usually about a third of them do. So that means about 6 of these will say, yes, I'll have a party, okay? Virtual may be a little bit higher, than cooking, or just depending on, if these are people that like to cook, or maybe they just got a new house, and they're, they would have a housewarming party or something. Or maybe they're people that don't like to cook at all, and you can say, hey, I got to show this Rock Crock to you, because you can cook meals in 12 to 14 minutes, and I know you don't like to cook, so this is just what you need in your life, so you got to think through the different people. Now, when I'm reaching out to these people, especially people that you may not know as well, family, sometimes you're like, hey, will you do a party for me, and they're, you can talk more like that with family. But with some people, I try to say, hey, I just signed up for Pampered Chef, and I thought about you because I know your kids are super small, and I just learned about this fajita recipe that can be done in 14 minutes in the microwave, and I know that this piece would really, really help you, and you can get it at 60% off this month. What do you think about, doing a party, getting a few friends together, and I can show you guys how to make some fajitas in 14 minutes. Okay, something like that. Or I thought about you because, I know you don't like to cook, this makes it super easy. But when you say I thought about you, because it takes off some of that pressure of, hey, I need you to do a party because I just started Pampered Chef and I'm supposed to book parties, but more on why they could use some Pampered Chef products, and it just settles a little bit more with, oh gosh, now I'm gonna have to have a party for Sarah, and instead of that, it's more like, oh, yeah, she thought about me because I was, I love to cook or whatever the reason, whatever you think, oh, that person, I need to reach out to her. Whatever made you think that, that's what you tell them. Okay. If that makes sense. So, and you already have learned this because you're already putting them on your calendar. Just keep thinking it's not a booking without a date. Okay. Because here's what happens. They go, hey, you want to have a party? Yeah, I want to have a party. Okay. Let me send you my calendar. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I haven't had time to look for the dates yet. So what I will typically do, if it's a cooking show that they want, I'll say, do weekends or weeknights typically work better for you? And then they tell me. Let's say they say weeknights, and I have on my calendar that I do Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I'll say, okay, does a Tuesday or a Thursday work better for you? Oh, typically Tuesdays because I have practice on Thursdays. Okay, awesome. The first Tuesday I have available is this one. Will that work for you? Okay, so narrowing it down gets that date. If you just kind of say, okay, let me know what works best for you. Then a few days go by, and a few days go, hey, have you had a chance to look at that calendar yet? Then a few days, you know what I mean? So if you say you're specific in, does this or this work? Give them two options. Does this or this work? Then you're much more likely to nail down that date, because once it's on there, then okay, now I need to send a host packet. Now I need to get things going. So just keep that in mind as you're reaching out to these people. The first thing right away you're going to try to do is get a date. Let me shoot you the dates I have available and let me know, which one will work best for you, kind of thing. So, and be ready to hear no. Just know that you're probably going to hear no. And it's not, no, I don't want to do that for Sarah. It's, oh gosh, my house is just always such a mess and I don't feel like vacuuming. Or, so maybe saying no to vacuuming, not necessarily no to you. Okay. So, and some people that you think would tell you yes are sometimes the ones that don't tell you yes, especially family. You're like, what? That's my sister, or that's my, whoever. I was for sure she would, help me start this business. And then people that you are like, oh, well, I didn't even think about them saying yes, maybe the ones that say yes. So just keep asking and know that it gets easier, and know that our ultimate goal is, once these parties are booked, is to get more parties from these parties. That's our goal. So you don't constantly have to be reaching out to people like this. So you have to, unfortunately, at first, just because you're just starting a business, but our goal is to continue to book parties from your parties here. So, I am going to let you work on these bookings the next couple days and kind of nail down, dates and stuff, and let me know where you're kind of at with your calendar and how things are going. With virtual parties, I typically pick 2 dates, so 2 weeks basically of when I'm going to run the parties. And I will let them know I'm starting parties on the 9th and I'm starting parties on the 23rd. Which one of those dates works best for you? And you kind of give them those 2 days, because it's a lot easier than having people just kind of pick random dates and then you're running parties every week. So if you can lump them together, that's much easier. Now that one on the 30th, if you can get her to maybe do the 23rd, then maybe you can run another one with that at the same time. Because on the 30th, it's not going to probably count for July. Okay. Because it's the very end, and it's going to run through that first week of August. So I would almost do holy cow, I just realized that I need to take that date off, the 31st, off of the calendar, because I'm leaving for conference. So, and that's another thing too. If conference is something that interests you, it's in Chicago and it starts on August 1st, and a bunch of us are going, and it's $99 to go to conference. And so, but you learn so very much, so much. So just something to think about because you're going to see some more about it and stuff. So, okay, I'm going to turn my screen around and I'm going to show you a couple things on my computer here. And then, whatever questions you have, if I haven't answered them, then, I'll answer some of your questions.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's get our team page here. Okay, so if we're on our team page here, this is the announcements, okay? And you're gonna be able to see that on the phone or on the computer. So if you click on see all 5, this is some of the first stuff that I want you to pay attention to. So how to get started with virtual parties. Okay, if you click on this, this is going to take you, set up your party right away as soon as you watch this video to find out how to do it. Setting up a party. Okay, this is where you just said a little bit ago, I'm not sure if I know how to set it up right. Okay, this is a video of me setting up a party here. Okay, now this is what to include in your host packet. Okay, the host special, guest special, how to get the most out of your virtual. Is that on here anymore? I don't think it is. I'll show you a better place to get that from. Host special, guest special, the kit credit coupon, the opportunity brochure that you'll get those in your kit. They're orange, and you can just stick one of those in each one. 2 catalogs, 1 to share and 1 to keep. Okay. So mailing the host packet at least 2 weeks before the show, or, since yours may be coming closer, you're going to just do it as soon as you get the catalogs, okay? And then you can say this to your host. I'm mailing your host packet tomorrow, so you'll have it, whenever. It'll have the catalogs and the info you need. What is the best way to communicate with you about your party? I need to have a short 10-minute call with you. When's in the next week would be a good time to do that. Okay, so this is words that you can message them as soon as you're sending them their packet. Okay, host coaching call. This call is a 10-minute call that you're going to see someone else do. They just picked up the phone. This 10-minute call that she's talking about right there, that's what this is. Okay, and the host coaching checklist, if you click on that, that is going to give you the words. Where did it go? It's somewhere in here. Somewhere in my downloads. That's going to give you the words that the checklist that she uses while she's doing this call. Okay, so if you're like, well, what am I supposed to say in the call? Print this out, watch this video, and that's exactly what she says to them. So this is asking every host 5 times. Okay, so this will just kind of show you what you can talk to your host about, because sometimes it takes asking your host 5 different ways and letting them know. You can say, hey, did you see that orange, brochure in there? Watch me during the party. Let me know if this is something that you're interested in. Okay. And then as through the party, if they really are a good host, you can say, wow, you have been so amazing. I think you would be great at this. Have you ever thought about trying something like this? So you're just dropping those seeds throughout the party. Get off of here. Oh, there's that host coaching. Now it's pulling up. This is it right here. So if you just print that out, this will show you what to do. Talks to them about being engaged in their party. Okay, so before you set up the show, this is something else you can send them. This is in a PM. You can do it in a group with other hosts, but I just usually send the message to them individually. Okay. I've tried that before, kind of putting all of my hosts into a group and, sending them all the same thing at once, but I kind of just like sending them to them individually. So this will just go through exactly what to do. A couple things to send, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it walks through day by day what you can do with your hosts. Okay, so it literally walks through basically a whole virtual party of what you can do every day. Okay, so this will really help you know. And this is customer care follow-up. This is what you can do, what you can send your guests right after they order, 2 weeks after they order, 2 months. So this is basically just checking in. Hey, did you get your products? Do you have any questions? You like it? Stuff like that. Because what that does is a lot of times they've thought about it and they decide to have a party or whatever. So that makes it nice for them. So this is going to be in right here in Team PC Hot Shots. Okay, so you can go through that and you can start looking at that. Now here is this is a template that I did back at the beginning of spring. But also this is the cooking show training. So you're asking me about some of the themes. Okay, so this is me doing a cooking show, demonstrating some of the products and stuff, which you kind of have seen me doing anyways. But this is a video of me doing a cooking show. So that other one is a virtual host coaching. This is me doing a cooking show host coaching. Okay, so there's videos of the cooking show host coaching, and then this. This is what I fill out when I am doing my host coaching. So I have pre-filled out their name, their address, all of this stuff right here. And so I'll say, let me check your information and go over and make sure everything's correct. And then I will make sure, because you want to make sure you're showing up on the right date at the right time. That's really important, at the right address. Okay, so I'll go over that information just to make sure we're on the same page, that she wasn't thinking 6:30 and I have down 6 or something. And checking their email. Then red stamp invite, I'll show you what that is in a minute. Then if they want some of the postcards and stuff to pass around, they can get those. And this is just a checklist from me. Did I send them the grocery list? Did I set her up for her party online? Did I send her a direct link for the show? This is just, when I have all this checked off, I know that I have everything done with their party. So this just helps me while I'm doing that call. Here's what I put in a packet, a host coach, a cooking show packet. Basically the same thing, but this, since I have Facebook up and you're probably going to hear me dinging a lot. My host coaching information page. I think this is the same thing. I need to change this. I noticed the other day that I accidentally put the same one in here. So I think this is the same thing. I need to change this to the information page I sent my hosts. So this is a Red Stamp invite. This is an app. Red Stamp, it's called Red Stamp, is the app. It's just literally the words red and stamp. But you can pull up cards and you can make a card on here and it saves it. So the next time when you go in to make a card, you can just pull up that one and you can just change the host's information. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a nice, and I'll text this out to my host and tell her to send it to 50 people always. And I say, I know that 50 sounds like a lot, but usually about a fourth of who you invite is actually going to show up. So if we invite 50, our goal is for 10 to 12 people. I always tell my host that, if you can get 10 to 12 to come to your party, then, we can have a successful party. So I tell them to just go through their phone and start sending it out to everyone. And so these are the themes. Okay, you can print this Pampered Host selection guide out and I laminated it, and that's what I take to my parties to show them the different themes. And then this is the wine, cheese, and chocolate tasting. Here is the bruschetta dip recipe. This is the grocery list that I send them. So you can just copy this and change your information. If they want a chocolate fondue, there's a fruit. This is a dessert. Okay, so here's the Mexican or margarita or fajita margarita, whatever they. This is that fiesta chicken dip that I was talking about. This is the rush hour fajitas. There's the margarita recipe. This is the salad and sangria. Okay, so that's just going to give you a few ideas, and you can copy and paste these grocery lists to send to them so you have the recipes. You can just start out with these 3 themes. You know, I wouldn't start out with a bunch of different options, you know, when you're very first starting, because you don't want to be overwhelmed with different things. So, so that is in the announcement as well. And then here's on how to get bookings. And this is a welcome new consultants. Start here first. Okay, so when you click on this, a welcome video, making sure your website's set up, which you've already done, how to do direct deposit and order payment account, your 30 and 90 day, PC bucks, how to create a show, host and guest special. Okay, so that is just kind of a welcome new consultants, booking your first shows and getting started. So this is just some stuff. I mean, a lot of it I went over with you, but sample scripts to book parties for virtual and cooking, you know, so this is just different things that you can click through as you have a chance. How to do your virtual party.
Now, I have a quick question.
Yes.
The one that you just showed us had something about, because I was kind of playing with the website today. And going through like their training videos, or they weren't really, I wouldn't call training videos. They weren't step by step. They were more like they tell you, and then there's a bunch of stuff to read. It didn't really explain. It said you had to set up like the direct deposit and this other thing. Like how is that set up where people pay for the Pampered Chef products, and then does Pampered Chef take it out of your account? Or because it wanted me to set up something else where Pampered Chef took money out of my account.
Yes, your order payment account. And so that's what you're probably talking. I'm going to go to Business Center and financial information over here. So you have an order payment account and a direct deposit. Okay, what your order payment account is basically you set up this account, and people that use their credit card, it goes off their credit card. Okay, so you don't have to do anything other than put their credit card in. Now, when you use your order payment account, if someone pays you with a check or cash, then you deposit that into this order payment account, whatever banking account you want, and then when the show closes, it takes the money out of that account.
Okay.
So does that make sense? And so you are basically you have this account already set up, and you're just it's just for checks and cash that you're putting in there, because that way, because obviously checks and cash, you're not going to mail Pampered Chef cash and checks, basically. So this is a way for you to put that in there, and then they can take it out of that account. So when I first started, I did my hi Crystal. I did my our joint account because I wasn't doing as many parties. But as I got going, it was really hard to keep track of what's Pampered Chef and hasn't come out yet. What is, so, my advice to you, honestly, to keep it separate is just to go get a regular generic checking account somewhere. It doesn't need to be a business account because this is just your personal account, it can just be a regular checking account. So that way, when you put your checks and stuff in, this will take out and it'll be the exact same number, because when you when something comes out of your order payment account, it takes like 4 or 5 days for it to actually come through. And they do that so that you have enough time to deposit the money. But I was having a really hard time when, 4 or 5 parties hadn't come through yet. And I was trying to balance these bills, I was trying to figure out, okay, did that party come through? Did that party come through? Did this, so if it was separate, it was much easier for me. So I did that pretty quick because I was having a hard time juggling it all. So that's all it is order payment account is anything that's checks or cash. You deposit it and they take the money from that. So
now, do they take all of it, or is it like the portion?
No, they just take what was closed. Let me show you an example. Let me show you a show that I had last month. I really need to change the date. It's trying to find my parties all the way back to 2015, so it takes a long time for it to pull up. Okay, let me go to a party that I did last month. Okay, so let's do this one right here. So if I go into this party, it's going to show you. Okay, so on here, here's how much the party was.
Hey,
see?
He's gonna have to.
I'm gonna mute her for a second. See how the show total was this, and the credit cards was this, and this is the order payment account. This was how many people wrote me a check or a cash. Okay. So basically, that's all that's coming. See, OPA stands for order payment account. So all of these people that paid with a credit card, it comes right off their credit card. Anyone that paid me with a check or cash, this shows me, okay, $277 should have went in my payment account. That's what they're taking out.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense? So they're just going to take out what you have clicked, check or cash.
Okay.
So, and see, it says consultant's order payment account is OPA. So, let me see. No, I think she was a card. I was trying to think of someone that wrote me a check, but I can't remember. I did a check on I paid $2 on every one of these accounts because this host was moving and she had 14 people that had purchased from her, and she literally got her stuff on a Thursday or Friday, and I did not want her having to deliver 14 people's stuff when she was leaving on Sunday to moving back to North Dakota. So I just went in when I figured out, I was like, there's no way I'm going to expect her to, deliver 14 people's stuff when she's trying to pack a whole entire house. So I just paid to have everything directly shipped to these people because I was like, I can't believe they didn't do that themselves, honestly. So anyways, that's what the order payment, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so direct deposit is just where you want your checks deposited. That's something totally separate than order payment account. That is what your commission is off of these parties. Okay. And that happens 2 times a month. So anytime you come up on the page, you're going to get this. You're going to see some of your parties. It's going to show you your unsubmitted, your submitted. But if you go over here to full site, now if you're over here, okay, and you want to see the marketing imagery or consultant connection, then they're right here in this, because these are so click on full site and it's going to take you to this. Okay. PC University is the biggest thing. If you want to read up some more about conference, that's what this is right here. Okay. The 2nd through 4th in Rosemont, Illinois. Okay. So what I want you to just really focus on right now is on, doing your bookings, which is down here. Okay. So booking, and you can start doing some host coaching.
Okay.
Okay. Now, go ahead.
For the virtual parties, I'm going to be doing host coaching. I want to make sure, especially I have one coming up next week, I want to be sure that I'm prepared. So is that where you find like games and stuff to play during the party?
I will run your first one for you. Okay, I will run your first one for you next week or whatever, so you can kind of see where it's done. The best place, well, since I'm going to run that for you, you can copy, for your future parties out of this one. Or what we use is a program called ScentShare. And ScentShare automatically, I think I talked to you about this, automatically posts for you, so you're not constantly having to sit in front of your computer. Okay, so if that's something that you realize that you want, it's free for the first 30 days if you want to try it out and see if it's something that you want. But then after that, it's $10 a month. So it's just a posting service, and it posts for you. It's worth it to me because with everything I have going on and all the trainings and stuff, I would be, it's hard for me to sit in front of my computer. Now, a lot of people do it without. They'll post some in the morning. They'll post some around lunchtime. They'll post a few in the evening, So it's possible to do without. But if you decide it's just so hard for me to keep up with, then I can definitely talk you through ScentShare, what that looks like. Okay, so something else on here. What was I going to show you? Oh, if you go to training resources, that marketing imagery, which was what I showed you on that very first page when you logged in, but you can access it here. It's under training and resources. This is where you're going to find your host special, your guest special. If you go down, okay, it's going to tell you, because you haven't taken the training yet, it's going to tell you to take a virtual training and an in-person training to access this stuff. Okay. But after you do the training, then you can come in here and you can click on virtual, and they have loaded tons. Everything that you need is right in here. Party themes, you can pick which one. Let's click on the best summer ever here, because a lot of the ones that are in the graphics that you'll see are from this. Okay, so here's some party setup posts, party kickoff posts, videos, games, and engagement. You can see there's party time posts. There's 105 in here. Okay, it has a ton of posts that you can use. Okay, all kinds of posts. Some about recruiting, some about charity type stuff, party wrap up and close. So once you access this, you can literally pick your theme and you can start going through it. Okay. So it's great that they have this for you. Now, like I said, you can use the one that I, give you, and you can use that for your first few parties. And then you can add some of this stuff to it if you want to add a few more things, so you can kind of pick and choose how you want to do it. This is kind of themes by day. And so they'll kind of pick a recipe, and then they'll pick the products that go with the recipe for that day. It's kind of how they do it on here. Okay. So, but yeah, so all of this is going to be under this marketing imagery, which is right here under training resources. Now, if you click home, like this is the page that pulls up. See it right there? Marketing images. Okay, it's right here on the side on your very first page that you pull up on. Okay.
And it will show me, it'll tell me to go to those trainings first before it'll open.
Mm-hmm. Correct. It'll have you do some training before you can click on it.
Okay.
So, all right. One other thing here that I wanted to show you is Fast Track Director. Did I talk to you about Fast Track Directorship, what that means exactly? Okay, yeah. I always like to do this on the first call because I didn't really have anyone that went in a lot of detail with me about this when I first started. And if I would have, I probably would have done it faster. Okay, because see, first 24 hours, Fast Track Director right there. They want you to know about it soon. So, okay, so Fast Track Director. Okay, what that means is when you promote to director in your first 90 days. So that 90-day date, the end of September that you were talking about, when you do that, you get $500. That's just added to your check. Okay? Now, those 5 people do not have to be directly under you. Okay, you can sign up someone and they can sign up someone, and someone else signs up someone. Okay, 5 people just under you. It does not have to be directly people that you signed up. So when you have 5 people under you in your first 90 days, okay, you can fast track to director. When you maintain it for 3 months, you maintain your directorship for 3 months, you get another $500 cash. And then if you promote someone under you in your first, so this is 6 months. The rest of these are 3 months. Okay. This one's 6 months. So if someone becomes a director under you in 6 months of you signing up, then you get $1,000 cash. Okay. So you basically have a chance for $2,000. And this is on top of your regular pay. This has nothing to do with what you're getting paid anyways. This is an additional bonus. And we've had several people that have been able to fast track. So just something to keep in mind as you are talking with hosts and stuff, because I share the opportunity with all of my hosts. I tell them, to watch me, see if this is something they'd be interested in. And so I definitely share that with all of them. But you can kind of start, clicking through some of this stuff. Your launch list is what I talked you through. Theirs is a little bit different. Mine's a little bit shortened version with the Frank's list, but that's what this is. It's the launch list. So, all right. Did you have any other questions for me at all?
I have one more question. I was thinking about how does it work? Because when I was scrolling through the page, it said you could have like bridal showers. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how that would work. I was thinking it would be good for either my mom or I to do one for my sister because she's getting married in August.
Oh, yeah.
And she has no kitchen stuff. Uh-huh. And we have a lot of family that can't travel to the wedding. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, this would be a great way to kind of help her get her kitchen stuff. Right. But I'm not sure if the bridal parties actually work like a regular party or if it's slightly different, or if you knew anything about those.
It's slightly different, but it's going to still have the link so outside people can order off her registry. They can go into her registry, they can pick whatever product they want to, and it's going to go to her party, okay? So they basically can pick off of her wish list kind of thing. And then anyone local, I make something cutesy that I think I had a board with a frame, and I hung little paper clips, and I hung her wish list from it, and they can come up and pick the number, that they want. And then you basically tell people, don't bring a gift. You're going to buy off her wish list at the party. And so they come there, they pick the stuff that she wants, but then because it is a party, she's going to get the host rewards. So she's going to get the free and the half off and all that stuff. So basically they're buying off of her wish list for her, and she's getting the host rewards because of what they buy, if that makes sense. So the bride usually ends up making bank, just getting a ton of stuff because she has all the stuff being purchased for her, but also she can use her free, and then she can get a cookware set that's going to have a lifetime warranty instead of the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff that's going to fall apart after a year. The knife block set has a lifetime warranty. So some of those things that are, and that could be something that, let's say your mom could use one of her half off and get her the knife block set, and she can get it for, $200, which that's what it's going to cost at Bed Bath & Beyond. But she can have one that's going to last her a lifetime instead of one that's going to go out a couple years after they get married. So basically that's going to be kind of the difference, is our stuff has the warranty where other stores, they're not going to, so.
How would you run it? Because we've got family in Kentucky, Arizona, California, Washington, Oregon, Missouri. So all these people can't come for
right. You're going to give them her wish. You're going to give her registry to order off of.
Okay.
And then it will still go to her.
So does it kind of act as a virtual party? Do you still do games and stuff, or is it just like a registry?
I've had different people do it different ways. You can add it to a virtual party. Not very many people have had a lot of success with running it virtually. Honestly, more people have had more success. Because does she actually live local, or does she live far away from you?
She lives in Missouri.
In Missouri. So depending on, you could send different people, the link and tell them, since you live far away, this is what she's really wanting. Here's the link. If you want to go order off of her registry, there's some really great items for you to pick from, and you can just kind of send that to all the people that are not local. I have honestly not seen a bunch of people that were playing games and doing stuff virtually has necessarily made a difference.
Okay.
Just honestly, I think that if you can do something for her in person, I think that's going to have the best result on top of sending people, her registry to order from. Mm-hmm. That's going to get you the best results. So if you can't possibly do that, then sending, I think, maybe making some sort of little card and saying, here is her registry link, order off of here to place an order, for her wedding gift or whatever. Even that you text out or email out or message out if you don't want to send an actual card, but that's going to be your best bet. So.
Okay. And then when you go in to set up your party, at the bottom it has says tax rate.
Leave all that the way that it is. Don't mess with any of that part.
It shows blank. So do you just leave it blank?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Whatever's down at the bottom. I don't typically mess with anything after. So, so if you go into my shows and orders and you're setting up a show, new party, okay, you're just going to go in, you're going to enter all this information. Mm-hmm. And then when you get down to the bottom, don't mess with any of that. Now, the time that you're going to mess this show location, that's the host address. Let's say it's at a different address than the host address. You can change that. Or if Sandy is having the party, but she's going to be gone for 2 weeks and you want to ship the stuff to Laura, that's when you would go in and change it to other, and you can ship it to someone else. Okay. Or if the host is because the host address is what's going to show on the invite. It's going to show on when they click on the website, that's what's going to show up. So whatever address you put in here is what it's going to tell everyone. Well, sometimes where you have the show is not where they want it shipped to. Mm-hmm. So that's when you would go in here and change the ship to location. And don't mess with the sales tax, food tax, any of that. When you create the show, then it's going to come over here and it's going to tell you what the sales tax and the food tax are. Okay. Once it's created. It's zero until you actually create it. So
when you're figuring out people's payments and stuff, like at the cooking show that we'll do for weeks, you'll go over, because you have to figure in the tax and shipping and everything in there.
It will do that. So what I do is my parties and orders, you'll see in just a second for the month. Gosh, I've got to change the state. This is driving me nuts how long this is taking. Okay, so let's say I'm going to, that's a virtual one, Terry's first. Okay, so I'm going to go into orders here. I'm clicking on this circle. I'm going into orders. And then I'm just going to add the guest. I'm going to put in, let me just put in my daughter's information here. Okay, so you add the guest. Then you're going to come in here. If you have a correct email, be sure you click on send e-newsletter, because that's going to send that newsletter, the different recipes, the hosting stuff. Only if you click that box will they see that. Okay. So that's important. So let's say I do, and then you can just do a space. And then you just hit enter. Okay.
So you do this if like during the party when they're ordering, if
I look at their receipt, I put in the item numbers that they want right here, click enter, it pulls them up. Then I come down the bottom and I say, okay, you're going to owe $49.01. They give me a credit card. I'm going to put in their card information.
Okay.
They give me a check. I'm just going to click check and hit save amount.
Okay.
Okay, so it's very easy. It goes right. The credit card goes right in there, and it goes to the last four. Now, the cards will not be charged until you close the party. So I'm going to delete this guest from the party. So that's basically, and when you are going to close it, you click on here. Obviously, there's no shows in here yet, so it says you can't close it. But that's where you'll close it. Just check the information and then finalize the show. All right, so anything else that you have?
No, just so you said you're going to run your virtual party next week. How is that going to work?
So you'll set up the party. Mm-hmm. You'll set up a group. You'll add the host to it, probably not until the weekend. Then she'll add her people, and you're going to make me an administrator. So you add me to the party too, and you click and make me administrator of the group. Because as the administrator, that's how I can post into it.
Okay.
And then I'll just post the post. Now, your part will be that you are still going to keep track of, their responses for games, telling them, the answers and clicking, sending them the thank yous. I know that Tony posted a bunch of thank yous. You could save those to your phone, and when someone places an order, you can go in and, because I won't be able to see any of their orders. So thank yous are something that you'll go in and do. So sending thank yous to the party. And so just responding when they, make a comment of, how they know the host or whatever. So like I will do the actual post, and then you'll kind of go in and do response and stuff. Obviously I'll be kind of watching and stuff too. But the biggest thing is I want them to know that you are the consultant, not me.
Yeah.
As I want them to know that.
So how do you do for like the game? Claire Brooks, stop. For the games and stuff, how do you do, how do you get the rewards that you give them?
Okay, so what I do, I am basically doing tickets, I will just say, oh, you guessed correctly, you're getting 10 tickets. Or you guessed this, 2 of these answers correct on this one, you're going to get, 5 tickets a piece, whatever. And then I just tell them your tickets are what's going to go in the final drawing at the end of the party. Now, what I do typically is I will go in and I will pick someone that, has placed a really good order and they've participated in the show. You can do a random selector where you put them all in there and you can keep track of all the tickets. I don't have time for that. So I tell them, that they get a ticket in the drawing for every $1 that's spent. So I'm going to be looking for someone, that maybe spent a lot, but then I'm also going to look, did they participate? Because maybe they placed an order, but they didn't do anything in the party, So maybe I'm going to go in and pick someone that I saw participated more. So, but still placed an order. Then what you're going to do is once their order is in there, then you can go in, they have their card information. So you can go add a small little gift of something to their order, and then you don't have to pay shipping because their order is already in there. Okay. So that's typically how I do it. So, and depending on where the party ends up, that's how much I spend on the party. If the party barely qualified, it's at $200, I'm going to add a $2 seasoned recipe book and a citrus peeler. I'm only going to spend $3. If the party ended up between $700 and $1,000, I'm going to probably add a $10 to $20 gift because I'm making a good chunk of commission off of that party, you know? So that's kind of how I judge what I give to them, is how much you know, whatever you feel comfortable spending.
Yeah.
And that way you're not spending shipping to send it to them, because you're just adding it to their order. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to stop this recording here. So bye everyone who watches this.